You're still watching Prime Morning. It's time for us to delve into what the newspapers have for us. Now, we know that 2 days ago, the NDC and the NPP were competing for the seat of Assin North. We know LPG did join as well, and LPG really did pull their weight. I must say congratulations to the lady, because for a newcomer to be able to gather 85 votes, that's quite impressive, I must say. But these two political parties, of course, they had a lot going on with regards to their campaign message, their campaign strategy, and one political party emerged victorious. Some are saying it's because he was the incumbent and that's why he retained the seat. For others, they're also saying that, you know, the NPP lost because people feel the NPP is not fulfilling their promises that they gave to Ghanaians. I don't know what your take on it is, but definitely we would love to hear from you. So do send in your messages for us to read it on air. We have other topics that we'll be discussing this morning. But before then, let me introduce my guest to you this morning. On the ticket of the NDC is Eric Delagno Alifo Esquire. He is a member of the NDC legal team. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm very fine.
Great. I'm fine, thank you. Welcome.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Right, and on the ticket of the NPP is Solomon Asante, who is part of the communications team. Good morning, Solomon.
Good morning, my dear.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I hope you're also doing well.
I'm fantastic.
Thank
Did you go
God.
to Assin North?
Not during the last time I came. I told you I was there over
Yes.
the weekend, and since then I
haven't been there.
Yes.
All right, so you know the story. We all know what has happened. You know, it was definitely going to be between the two political parties, that's the NPP and the NDC, and the final results are here. We have, you know, an MP who is MP-elect, and he's coming from the ticket of the NDC. The NDC told us that they were going to win. The NPP told us they were going to win. Are you surprised by the outcome, Solomon?
No, I'm not surprised by the outcome.
Why?
In the first place, let me say a big good morning to our cherished viewers this morning, and then by senior man here. I say I'm not surprised because this is a seat that the one who emerged the victor was occupying. I hope you understand me. You know, there are so many reasons that sort of got him getting the seat back. You know, Ghanaians are typical of us, that sort of empathy, sympathy that we feel for. Because people were like, wow, all this that is gone through, I mean, it's in court, I mean, that court issue related. And it is this a local election. If I say local election, we're talking about a confined area where the people know themselves. I hope you understand me. So this person is related. It could be that somebody is even in NPP, but because of this also, my uncle, if guy is not taking, he'll be this, that.
But we are looking at a seat that hasn't been a complete, you know, NPP or NDC seat for a while. We know that it's a swing seat.
It swings, but typical of Ghanaians. Look, because of that thing, sympathy, empathy.
So you think that he was voted for because of sympathy?
It was one factor, because if you look at the voter trend, we in 2020, our lady Odrowa, and then if you check that of Chasopoku, the difference in percentage, we declined by 2.3%. And then if you check 2.26%, and then if you check that of Jechi equation in 2020 and that of this Assin of, there's an appreciation of 2.34%. Somebody will ask, is it that the 2.2 from here has moved to this place? I hope you understand me. It's likely you may have some elements.
You don't think it's because people feel that the campaign promises of the NPP were not or have not been fulfilled, and that is why they feel that, listen, we need Jachakwesen back, we need, you know, the NDC to take over? You can't
exclude, I mean, you can't take that out. There are various factors.
Okay.
That's also, I was just sort of trying to itemize some of the factors which might have led to why. And the first one is what that sympathy thing. That's the first factor. And then maybe some will say some utterances, maybe some saying, some conducts from maybe our side might have also led to that. I mean, it's very frank.
What are some of the conducts from your side that you think made you lose?
Okay, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I had information that whilst the NDC perhaps is giving, if they go to a village, you know, they have several settlements there.
Yeah.
If they go to the settlement, whilst they are giving maybe every farmer a Wellington boot, then people will go with maybe just a few, which will not cut. I hope you understand.
Okay.
It's a conduct.
the giving was less as compared to
what was being done. I hope you understand me. I hope you understand. And then if you look on the day of the election, I watched some of these videos coming out. I realized the man Jechi, after going to vote himself, he was moving from polling station to polling station. I didn't see that much of Charles Opoku.
But Charles Opoku didn't even have a vote.
No.
He didn't have a vote there. He couldn't cast.
Let's take that one. I'm talking about. Even if you don't have a vote,
with the people.
Yes, it's election day. You need to be moving on the electorates. Why is they voting? You can be talking to Jechi was doing it.
Okay.
Not him alone. He was in the company of Sami and then other people, other NDC gurus. They were with him and he was going around. That is a conduct which went against us. Because I didn't see much of our candidates. I hope you understand.
Okay.
So many conducts or so many things might have gone into informing that decision, because right from morning to 5 p.m. some group might have voted in the morning. There are others still lingering around who are waiting to vote. So your presence there might even influence.
Okay, makes sense.
The
people want to feel you.
I hope you understand.
They want to know you are part.
I hope you understand
me.
So there are so many factors, and these are some of the factors that there are so many factors.
And also, Jachekwesin, had a lot of projects there. We heard that his mother was the queen mother of the area. He had built, a lot for the community. It is also a factor. Okay,
that's what I'm saying. It's not only based on one thing that the people they love NDC, so they are giving to NDC. This time around is about the two.
Okay. It's not about the love of the NDC.
Oh, the party. The party the person is coming. It's about the two.
Let me ask Eric if he agrees with this.
No, obviously I will have to disagree with almost everything he has said. Yeah, and he said quite a lot. First of all, I was a polling agent in one of the polling stations there.
Okay.
And I haven't seen Mr. Kwesin. He hasn't passed around. I rather saw Mr. Charles Opoku at my polling station. So he passed around there. So that is just to debunk the But again, you see, you have mentioned a number of factors. I don't know if you guys are knowing these factors only after the by-elections, after the act. You should have known all of this earlier, and you put in so much, and the stakes were very high because both parties wanted to make a statement, a big statement to the nation. And for them, their statement was that they were going to break the 8. Notwithstanding all the hardships people are complaining about, things are going all right, Ghanaians are still with them, and all of that. And so they put in so much to make sure that they make that statement to Ghanaians that have you seen all the things NPP, they will claim NDC. NDC guys are complaining about in the country. Ghanaians they are not feeling the same way.
They're not feeling it, right?
Yeah, so they voted for us again, and that's why they threw in everything. Somebody said that they sent the whole of Bank of Ghana vault over there, they opened everything, they gave out money. So much money, and I was surprised.
But what he's saying, the NDC did more given.
Well, I was laughing when he said so. The camera has been on me, so people wouldn't say. Obviously, if we're going to compete in giving out, there was no way NDC was going to match them. Yeah, this is the guy party in power, and then so they moved all equipment, heavy equipment there, began to construct roads. We saw trucks of fertilizers and the knapsack spraying machines and all of that. So clearly nobody from NPP can come and argue that the NDC outgave that way, if there's anywhere like that, or gave more than them. It's ridiculous, it's funny. People will laugh at that, So they went there and they were giving lots of money, and we could see people on the street after the victory. They were singing and telling us the amount of money they took from.
So why do you think that they voted the NDC back into power? Because the NDC actually is an incumbent seat.
Yes.
And everybody knows that since it's incumbent, it says, this man has been going to court. He's been through a lot.
Yes. Oh, you see, a number of factors again. He mentioned the wrong factors, when he said that the conduct, some of their conduct, and you ask some of what were some of those conduct. I was surprised that he mentioned all the fact that maybe their candidate didn't move from polling station to polling station for people to see him. But some of the conduct, in fact, if he talked about sympathy votes, I believe that accounted for part of the votes also.
Okay.
Yeah, but who caused it? They hounded the man out of parliament virtually. This is the man who had renounced his citizenship a year before elections and then came and he got a certificate before election. And yet people went after him. You tried everything to make sure that he got out of parliament through the courts. You got him out of parliament. The courts even said that you have to expunge all his records and everything. So they hounded him, and it's their fault. And they knew that. And so you cannot do that and then go in there thinking that there will not be sympathy votes, and later you come by and say, oh, it's because of sympathy votes. So that's one. Another thing is because it's NDC seat, it's a swing
seat.
Constituency.
Yeah.
So there was no way. It's unlike Kumewu, where they thought that, well, no matter what is done, the people they'll vote for us anyway. This place is not like that. People have to see your conduct. People have to see your input, your output, and the progress that the government is making. And they have seen all of that as well. And so we're able to go there and campaign and tell the people that, look at the hardship in the country. Look at all the development projects that you are seeing. The ones that were there already were all done by NDC when they were in power, and Mr. Kwesi had initiated some of them. But the ones you are seeing now were hurriedly began. They just brought in the things because of the by-election. Again, another conduct is that you should, mind you, the president went there and told the people that, look, if you re-elect Mr. Kwesi, he will not be able to come. He dare not come to my office to lobby for projects for you. You are telling the people right in their faces, he cannot come to me, he cannot approach me. And then you virtually also threaten him. We shall jail him. If you elect him, he will go to prison. Well, you can't go. He cannot talk about those conduct. I thought he was going to mention that, oh, these are some of the conduct. And I saw some discussion from one of NPP platform where people were complaining that the president should not go near any rally anymore because the president has spoiled the party, for them had destroyed the party.
Really?
Yes. So you cannot go and tell the people that if you re-elect the president you elected, duly elected, we made sure we forced him out of parliament virtually, and if you re-elect him again, we shall jail him. You can tell the people, so the people
but
also...
he didn't say that. He said he could go to jail.
Yeah,
he never
yeah.
said we will jail him.
That is why
so when we mix the words, what happens is that they will come for us. What he said was that if you vote for him, he's a potential man to go to jail.
Yes, of course. If the president is speaking like that, you see, the president shouldn't have even gone near that at all, you know. In fact, if he really wanted to get close, he should just say that the man is in court, finished. We don't know what's going to happen. But if you are mentioning jail to the people, that is a potential candidate for jail and all of that, it's virtually threatening that you are telling them that, well, this man could go to jail anytime, and so please don't elect him. You can't campaign. The people want, and now they just stood up to the president. They want to tell him that, look, we don't trust you anymore. Whatever you are saying, we've heard it all right, but we shall show you.
I thought you speak more of the economy. I thought you speak that people are struggling, and that is why they voted Joshua Kwesi, because people feel that, listen, we ought to change power and, you know, make a statement. From what you're saying, it's not about the economy, it's just about the conduct.
Well, okay. Well, anyway, because I started and said there are a number of factors, except that, well, we don't have the luxury of time to mention all the factors. Yeah, but of course, from the beginning, I said that, look, the stakes were very high. We all wanted to make a statement. We wanted to make a statement there. From our side, NDC, we wanted to tell Ghanaians that, look, things are very difficult in this country. And so the number of votes we got in 2020 in this particular constituency, we want to increase it. We want you to re-elect this man, for everybody to say that things are tough, you are suffering, and you are complaining every time. And so this is the best time for you to show that, to demonstrate that. Quite apart from that, these all other factors also added to it. Yes, but clearly, because they wanted to make the statement that we can break the aid, notwithstanding the problems. So if it didn't go their way, it means that the Ghanaians have been listening to that. Clearly, Ghanaians are suffering, and they show to them that, no, we are really suffering and we shall vote.
All right, Solomon,
I don't know. You see, I'm here, I've said mine. He said he's from the, two political parties. But you have the truth, or you hear the truth for yourself when you go on the ground. So I've sent a video, 2-minute video to your producer, where an electorate who had just finished voting, saying or coming out to say why he voted or they voted that trend.
Okay.
Yes, it's there. So you can hear. Yeah, I mean, it's there. I've sent it. If you like, they can play it. And
so he said he gave a reason why he voted for Joshua Kwesi?
Yes. Okay. He is saying, according to him, he said, yes, the NPP cannot bring somebody who is not an indigene.
Okay.
I hope you got it.
An indigene?
Yes.
But Charles Opoku is an indigene.
No, that is what, according to him.
Because if we talk about Joshua Kwesi is not an indigene as well. If they are going to define it by indigene.
That is what, according to him, that is what he said. He said it cannot be somebody who is not from there to come and be their MP.
They are both
that is what, you see, our electric, that is what that I want to arrive at. I hope you understand me. Yes.
Are you blaming your party for bringing
I hope you understand.
Are you blaming your party?
We are trying to come out with the reasons why we got this resource. You have said yours, I've said mine. We are at variance at least. So I say, okay, let's bring in the third person. And this is what the third person who actually is was an electorate
But this is one person saying it. There's also
and when he was saying it, he has the youth around him. They were all shouting.
You know, there's a video of a gentleman who actually spoke about the fact that the two political parties gave him money. One gave 100 cedis, the other gave 200 cedis, and there was even a curse after, you know, one of the monies that if you don't vote for us, this and this will happen. And he said, no, this is taxpayers' money. I pay tax, and so you can't curse me. Nothing will happen to us. And with the state of the economy, I have to vote right. He didn't speak anything about indigents as well. You know, so probably it could be just 1 month's side of the story, but then it's also a factor. It makes sense.
That's why I earlier said there are numerous, a lot of factors which has come to play.
The point is that, you see, people vote for multiple reasons. They have their own reasons, but I'm saying that, well, when you put all together, you have to make your analysis. When you put all together, because you knew all of this before you went into the election, and so you cannot now come out and be using those as excuses, and so it's because of this, because you have to blame yourself because you chose that candidate.
You see, another issue that came up yesterday was to do with the fact that the NDC put a lot in this particular election.
Yes.
If the NDC should continue like this in 2024, it will aid them into victory, because in 2020 they didn't see this much effort. Do you agree, Eric?
Well, putting in a lot, yes. Well, in some ways, you know, people may just understand it to mean that perhaps they put in so much money. No, I'm a lawyer, for instance.
I said effort. It didn't come with money, though.
No, you are. Yes, no, I understand you. I just want you know, others are listening to us. That's why I'm trying to clarify this. For instance, I'm a lawyer, and I went there and I was a polling agent. A number of us lawyers and other professionals went there and they were all polling agents. That is a different effort. That is something NDC didn't do in the past elections, general elections, for instance. Yes, so of course, yes, the strategy was good. There were several meetings, we planned several things to do, and we went there in our numbers. Everybody was on the ground. And this was just one constituency also. So the focus, the concentration was there. Almost all the MPs were in town, the ministers, everybody was in town, you know. So the pressure was there. So they put in a lot in that wise. And I believe it paid off, yeah, because there were things that happened in many police stations where I was, for instance. There were a number of things that happened, and perhaps because of my stature, you know, when I tried to, they listened to me and things went smoothly. I was in Kumewu also, and I saw that also. There was an MP.
When you compare the Kumewu campaign and the Assin North campaign, which one did NDC work very hard?
Yeah, I think the Assin North, and there are good reasons for it, because this is our seat. And this is a man that was duly elected, that was completely harassed out of office. So yeah, we put in a lot to make sure that we get it back. Kumewu, we knew that Kumewu.
You knew you win?
Yeah, well,
so you relaxed?
To some extent. No, we didn't relax. Like I said, I was a polling agent there as well. So we put in some effort also to make sure also that we thought that we could do better. In actual fact, we did better than the general elections in Kumewu. Yeah. So clearly, but it's their stronghold, it's their seat. We heard people on video who said that, well, no matter what, whether NPP is doing well or not, we shall vote for it anyway, because we are from here, we are from there, and all of that.
You see the mentality that I'm trying to talk about. You see the mentality that informs the decision making of some electorates. I hope you understand me. Look, in Kumewu, I thank God that the conversation has brought in Kumewu issue. In Kumewu, in 2020, may he so rest in peace, Honorable Basua, he had 51.11% of the votes. But with this by-election, we had about 70.91% for Yao Enim. I hope you understand me. That shows you the appreciation in figures that...
total vote. Solomon, with that one in particular, we know that even with that, we know that he had a 51 because there was an independent candidate who actually pulled the numbers. This time around, it didn't happen.
There was an independent candidate, wasn't there?
There were over 8,000 votes that didn't go in there.
Wasn't there an independent candidate this time around?
Solomon, there were over 8,000 voters who decided not to cast their vote, which affected the voting system. And so there was an appreciation in the numbers of the NDC, where they had over 2,000 more appreciated. And so when you look at the figures itself, you look and compare the figures, and you realize that 8,000 should have even gone to the NPP. That's what everybody was saying.
You want to say, or should I conclude that we should discredit the fact that the votes appreciated by that.
It appreciated for NDC as well.
So that's the point.
Yes, it appreciated, but looking at the margin of appreciation, that is what I'm talking about.
NDC is better.
The margin of appreciation, we moved from 51% to 11, from 51.11% to 70.91%, and that is an appreciable figure for us.
Okay.
Unlike the Assin North, where you realize that in the one that the lady Grower got, we declined. 2016. We declined by 2.26%. I hope you understand me. And then the NDC also appreciated by 2.34%. 2.34%. That's the level of appreciation here in the, because in both cases we are looking at the 17s, the 17,000 regime for the NDs. I hope you understand me. Yes. So it tells you the thinking, the level of appreciation of the two sides. I hope you understand me. That's all. But let's conclude that there are various factors which came to play to arrive at this very. What will be
the NPP's campaign message for 2024 with this outcome?
This outcome, I'm saying, because of one out of the various factors that you have mentioned, that sympathy thing that I'm talking about, and then perhaps some apathy that set in within our fold. In 2024, the party will have to, preparing towards 2024, the party will have to work on those apathy systems so that our votes will appreciate. Look, people feel the man is there, he hasn't concluded his term. Why should we take him out?
Okay.
I hope you understand me. Let's make sure he concludes. I hope you understand me. Yes. But I know that if we put the right things in place, we do the right things.
Let's talk about the right things, because like I said, we are approaching 2024. Let's even look at the flag bearership race. We know that the NDC already have a flag bearer.
Yeah, they are through with
yet to get a flag bearer.
Sure.
Which of these men do you think can lead the NPP to victory in 2024?
It is the decision to be taken by the delegates. But my only advice and the cue that we should take from what happened in Assin North is that delegates, this time around, let me talk to our delegates.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, delegates, I'm at this moment appealing to you. Let's take cue from what really happened in Assin North just this past Tuesday. You will see that the party has been designed in such a way that the power to elect who becomes our flag bearer is given unto you delegates. When you are exercising that right, I beg you, don't let influences from so-called top affect or influence your decision making. It is your absolute right to exercise that. We said the system is behind somebody, the system is behind. Don't let those things convince you or influence your decision making. No. In the thinking of the framers of our constitution, they know why they said after every 4 years we should go to primaries, so that the majority of the party people, that's the delegates, will come out with what they think, their assessment and the way forward they think they need to move the party. I hope you understand me. So if you sit down for somebody somewhere, quote a big man or a CEO, an appointee, someone to come and tell you do this or like, oh, the system is behind it. No, use your own thinking. Use your own thinking to enter into the ballot box to decide who leads us. The system following this, the system for that. At least we have a system following somebody.
So if they select somebody that the system is following, it could affect the win in a way in 2024. Is that what you're saying?
You see, the dynamics may differ.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is,
so you're thinking the Ghanaians will do more sympathy.
All the machinery were there. We supported a candidate. What was the outcome? I hope you understand me. So that goes a long way to tell us that saying that we hear that the system is behind us is not always that perfect.
Right.
I hope you understand. So they shouldn't they shouldn't fall in for that.
Eric,
they should use their thinking.
What will be NDC's campaign message for 2024?
Well, clearly you see the way now we've gained the momentum. You know, this by-election was supposed to be like a stepping stone for either party. That's what we're planning. Everybody was thinking that this will give us the necessary impetus. the necessary impetus for us to move on. And now we've got it. So we are going to go out there and tell Ghanaians that you've seen that, look, people are suffering in this country. We've complained for all these years. And so clearly, and we saw the result from Assin North. And then we saw that it's a government that is so cruel, so wicked, they can go after you if they don't like you, if you are not in their party. And we want to change that. We want to make Ghana a very good country for all of us. Everybody should stay in and have equal opportunity to develop yourselves. We would come out with that, if for employment, especially to the state agencies and security services and all of that. I would tell you that, look, it's going to be very open. Everybody will have, in fact, whether you belong to NPP or affiliated to whichever party, there will be equal opportunities. We shall advertise if you want to recruit people into the military, into the police, immigration, customs. Unlike what we are seeing now, we don't even see any publicity at all, and here they are recruiting people. Every time they are recruiting people. So we tell Ghanaians that, look, things are going to get better. And John Mahama, who is our flag bearer, was there before. We saw all that he did. He can do it again and do far better because he has even learned his lessons. And we've seen what Nana Akufo-Addo has come to do, NPP has come to do, and all of the people who are parading. In fact, the front runners in the NPP race, they were all part of this government, and all the front runners, they were part of the government, and they are even still part of the government. They cannot come out to. In fact, my friend over here even couldn't come out clearly to advise the delegates. He spoke in general terms. If I were a delegate, I would ask him to be more.
You define it well,
tell us,
right?
if you say the system is following, who is the system following? Maybe he doesn't want them to vote for Bawumia, but he cannot say it because, as far as we know, that is the one that we believe the government machinery is supporting. Yes, it's clear, government machinery. Everybody in government now, except a few MPs, are speaking for other people. So come out clearly and tell the people that, well, if you follow Bawumia, but he can't even say that, he doesn't have the mojo, he doesn't have the courage to say that to the delegates, but I believe a few of them would dissent that from what he said. So the message is clear. We are suffering. In fact, we only need to remind Ghanaians of the suffering they are going through.
But do you think that if somebody else becomes the flag bearer apart from Bawumia, of course, we will see a big competition between the NDC and the NPP?
Well, like I said, all the front runners are part of this government. They were or are still part of the government, and so clearly I don't see whichever. But of course, they may pose different levels of challenges to us. But the bottom line is that John Mahama is going to prevail. He's going to win the elections clearly, and we are seeing the signals. We are going to go ahead with that. Whoever is going to emerge, but of course, depending on whoever emerges, we will also strategize accordingly. And we will make sure that we win this one.
Okay, let's start with the newspapers. What do you want to say?
I want to take something small.
Yes, Solomon.
On the issue of me not coming out clear, come on. Everybody within the party knows my position. The candidate that I feel should be. So I don't see why.
But
I'm coming. But the question that you asked.
Yeah.
Was based on a premise.
Okay.
I hope you understand me. Though you were out asking, so which candidates, but the platform that we are using now.
You said everybody knows, so just say it. Who is the candidate?
I'm touting for Alan Kojo-Chamanti. Simple.
Okay.
And the reason is, the NDC, in fact, at Assin, when Alan went to talk, when he finished it, he was leaving. There's a gentleman in his NDC dress paraphernalia. So the man, when he's moving through the crowd, he always rolls his glass down. So he saw then, he said, we are waiting for you. If you are able to sail through this dress, we are going to remove it and make sure we give it. Yes, I have the video. I can send it to you. So that you can. Yes, I'll send it.
I like evidence.
Yes, I'll give evidence. I don't just talk like that.
One thing I find about him is he likes speaking
individual
people. Somebody has said something.
The thing is that Eric, he's saying he's given a reason why he feels they should vote for Alan.
Yeah, no.
That's his reason. Because what is more of sympathy? Is that what you're saying?
That is, they love the man.
Just because,
yes.
Okay,
let me tell you.
One person has said so that means if he is elected, he's going to.
Since look, in this hour,
but anyway, you shouldn't have the platform to campaign for Alan.
You see one person.
I've sent it. Yes, I've sent it. There's another conversation that we ought to talk about.
He's not shy away from it.
No.
You call for.
Alan Chimate has been part of this government.
You call for. And I'm saying it. You say
who is scared of Alan Chimate? Part of this government.
This is not a platform. He said this is not a platform for me to.
The NPP hasn't gone to polls yet. We know the NDC has their flag bearer, but the NPP is yet to have the flag bearer. We don't even know who will become the flag bearer yet. And so this is just an open campaign. At the end of the day, there will be a flag bearer. So let's wait and see who the flag bearer will be, and then we can go on.
But this is one man who was saying, I couldn't. No, he said I couldn't come out clear. Now I'm coming out clear. He's telling me this is not a platform for me to do this.
Now we know that.
You want to mention, you are just going to.
They get scared when you mention
Now let's talk about what
get scared when you mention
the other ones will not be very happy with you. Once you mention,
you are calling for it. I'm giving it to you now. You're saying this is not a platform. Is it because you get scared?
All right, let's move on.
There are other things that are happening.
No. But you don't have to move on.
Can I continue? Gentlemen. Okay, no, wait. Solomon and Eric, we can continue with that. Let's move on to the next one. Solomon, let's move on to the next topic. Now, there's an issue that is pertaining. Tanker drivers are threatening a strike. Reason being that there are bad conditions with our roads. Our road systems are so deployed, and so they are threatening that they will go on a strike, and this will definitely affect the economy, because these are cars that are transporting our fuel, these are cars that are transporting our goods, and so there's a lot at stake for we as citizens. What do you have to say? Let me start with you, Solomon.
I have two views on this. One, I share with them the sentiments they are raising. Imagine you, I don't know where you're staying, but if you are in those new sites and you move driving from your house coming to town, the stress that you have to pass through, I mean, these rough roads, I mean, on tarred roads that you have to pass through before you get to. Sometimes by the time you get home, you see how the whole system, the body, how you feel. Very tired, sometimes you fall sick here and there. So driving such heavy vehicles with fuel in them on these roads that they claiming is not good. I think attention needs to be given to the roads that they are talking about. If you read that story, you realize that it's something that they've had a discussion with the minister in charge, and it seems since they had a discussion, nothing has come out of it till now that they are coming to talk about. I think it is time that it's good. Sometimes it's good you need to come out this way. This is not a threat. This is to inform whoever is in charge. I mean, the minister in charge that, look, what we discussed with you, we came in a closed door meeting, but since we've not heard it, this time we are coming public, and this is what we intend doing, so that the minister in charge will sort of, I mean, wake up and then attend to them. Then besides that, with this shortage of, yes, it's true, the effect of their strike, should it happen?
Talking about the effect, let me go online and speak to the Vice Chairman of LPG Marketing Companies Association of Ghana, Mr. Gabriel Kumi. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Mr. Kumi?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
We are doing fantastic. Now, this news is not a good one, and the strike is already on, right?
Yes, they started on Monday and it's still on.
Okay. Now, let's talk about what informed this decision and how it's affecting business owners.
Obviously, the tanker drivers are very key members of the chain of distribution for petroleum products in the country. They are the people who cut the goods from the various depots and distribute to the various retail outlets across the country for us to be able to serve our consumers. So once they are on strike, you can expect that the chain of distribution has been cut. And at the moment, time is really running out. We have very limited stock at our various LPG stations and petrol stations. And if this strike is not averted within 24 hours, from tomorrow we'll start experiencing very serious shortage in the country. And you know, tomorrow is Friday, and if we are not able to avert this today, it means we are going to run into the weekend, and that will be very catastrophic for the nation.
So there could be shortage of fuel if this is not rectified.
Yes, there is obviously, even now, some LPG stations and some petrol stations across the country don't have stock. And this is putting a lot of pressure on the ones that are having stock. And you know, once there is no feed, once there is no replenishment of the stock, you can expect that there will be pressure on those we are having at the stations, and in no time they will also run out. So if that happens, it means the whole country is going to be grounded to a halt, because without fuel we can't move, and that is a very serious serious challenge that we are likely to face, and that will seriously affect our economy and affect our country.
What is being done about it so far? Are you aware of any talks that is ongoing to solve this situation?
So far, I haven't seen any concrete. We started sounding this alarm bell from Monday, but I have not seen or heard of any concrete steps being taken to address the issue. My understanding is that some ministers will be going to the site to meet the drivers, but I think the drivers' communication has been very, very, very straightforward. What they need is the road to be fixed, and not about meetings and about touring the site and giving speeches and giving statements. This issue has been lingering on for far too long. In fact, it's been 6 years when they started this. In 2017, they wanted to go on strike, but we managed to appeal to them to call it off. At that time, a contractor was organized to move on site to start construction of the road. But after about a week or two, the contractor pulled out. Obviously, we suspect that the resources that the contractor needed to execute that contract was not forthcoming. So he pulled out. Since then, every year when the rain starts, these drivers take arms and say they want to go on strike. And we, the industry players, the leadership of the industry players, call them, we speak to them, and then we get them to go back to work, because we really appreciate the effect of the strike action by these tanker drivers on our nation and our economy. We have been doing that for far too long, and this time round, they will take none of what you are saying. Over the weekend, we did try very, very hard to avert the strike, but they told us they would take nothing from us. The only thing they will take is the fixing of the road, and if that does not happen, they are not going back to work.
Now, you're saying that if it's not fixed by Friday, that's tomorrow, there's going to be shortage. We have less than 24 hours to fix the road, and the fixation of the road is what they are looking for. What exactly can be done within these 24 hours? Because we all know that contracts are, assigning contracts to people.
To do it. We all know that road construction, I agree with you, road construction takes quite a bit of time. Yeah. But you need to show that commitment for them to know that the thing is being done. Okay. Then they can call off the strike. But if from we started this, in fact, they started sounding the alarm last week. And over the weekend, our leadership called them. As late as Sunday night, we were in a meeting with them, trying to appeal to them to call off the strike, but they said no. So it's not. I don't think the drivers are so unreasonable to say that they want to see all those roads completely done before they go back to work. That's not. I don't think that is what they will say. Okay. But we need to see. It's been a week now. This thing has been. They started sounding the alarm bells for the past 1 week. We expect something practical to be done on those roads. Government can marshal resources and move onto those roads. And we are not talking about Tema alone. We are talking about Bupe. We are talking about Atuabo. We are talking about Kumasi. We are talking about Takrade. All the roads in the depot enclave are so bad. And these are roads, these are depots that gives us so much in terms of taxes. I don't know of any industry that provide more taxes than the petroleum downstream industry. And these are the roads that the drivers ply to go and load, so that they can, if they don't load, for the past 3 days that they are not loading, government is losing a lot. So please, we are appealing to government to attend to this issue immediately. We need immediate practical solution to the problem. It's not about going for meetings and going to make speeches and going to talk. No. Move, organize, marshal the resources and move the excavators, move the graders there, move the equipment there for the driver to see that something is being done. Then we can talk to them to tell them that, look, government is working, so please get back to work.
Right. Now, let's talk a bit about some of the hazards these drivers face driving the tankers on bad roads.
I mean, the hazards, do we even need to talk about it? Can you imagine if an LPG tanker loads LPG and in front of tow it's over 10 and there's an explosion? The only refinery that we've not even been able to manage well will go up in flames. Do we want what happened at Circle in some years back? to happen, the rains have started. These roads are so bad. These guys are carrying such dangerous products. Do we want what happened to Aseko to happen to us again? And we'll go and perform all the ceremonies and say never again and come back to do the same thing again? Do we want what happened at Atomic Junction in 2017 to happen again? Please, this is danger in waiting. And we appeal to government to attend to the needs of these drivers ASAP.
Right. All right. Thank you so much for speaking with us this morning, Mr. Gabriel Kumi.
Thank you.
Do have a good day. And Mr. Gabriel Kumi is actually the Vice Chairman of LPG Marketing Companies Association of Ghana. And we are hoping that the government will definitely do something about it, because we all stand a chance of risk in this. Now, if there's shortage of fuel, I don't know what we are going to do. And he's saying that there are some stations that currently don't even have access to fuel. And so those of us who have areas that we have access to fuel, maybe we might have to fill our tanks for now. Eric, your take on it?
Yes, my take. You know, I don't intend to say much to rehash the problems and the dangers, but all I want to say is that if the tanker drivers were to be a constituency that has an MP in parliament and they need to have a by-election, I believe that government would have done those roads immediately. Because you see, we need less than maybe a fourth, maybe a sixth of the money that was put into Assin North recently. We need less than that to fix some of these roads. And you know, they mentioned specific areas, for instance, the Tor runabout to the Bost area and all of that. I don't know how long it will take government to mobilize. The speed at which they mobilize equipment to Kumeu and to Assin North, I don't see why they cannot do this one. They can do it easily. If they want to do it today, they'll be able to mobilize the resources and they'll go and do it. And so it is only that the government is not listening, and we have to, instead of rehashing and trying to talk about the dangers, we all know the dangers already. Let's put the pressure on government. They can do it. If they want to do it today, they can do it. They can, in fact, they can even remove all the, they don't even need to remove, because if we are having by-election in 3, 4, 5 places, they'll be able to mobilize resources to those places, and they will begin to ask for the roads in those areas. So why wouldn't they do this?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to what the newspapers are reporting. The New Crusading Guide, that's the newspaper I am starting with, the New Crusading Guide. Western Togoland members caged. Economic review underway, says Akufo-Addo. Ashanti MPs silent over Chermating. Alan Chermating's projects at Dakabre says so. Kofi Krom Pharmacy CEO adjudged Outstanding Entrepreneur of the Year. And Akufo-Addo secures a big tractor deal for Ghana. Right. Now, we all know that Dr. Akufo-Addo is also competing to become the flag bearer of the NPP. Daily Statesman newspaper reads, Dr. Akufo-Addo secures tractor deal for Ghana. Government and banks agree restructuring deal on domestic debt. Assin North defeats wake up call for us, says NPP General Secretary. And you agree, Solomon?
Oh, yes, I've said it. I said it earlier, right. Yes.
NPP concerned about traders, Assemblyman says so, and that will be all for the Daily Statesman newspaper. Let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper as well. Daily Graphic newspaper. YEA secures jobs for 84,000 youth in 6 months. Democracy is about development, Jacha Kwesen says so. Things getting better. Economy grows 4.2% first quarter, says President Akufo-Addo. Dispute resolution judge affirms judiciary traditional authorities partnership, and President Lord's peaceful poll at Assin North, which is good. Yeah, the polls were, it wasn't that bad. It was quite peaceful. We know that there were a little bit of hitches here and there, which is bound to happen. But the fact that we didn't hear of fatalities, we didn't hear of any...
There were damage to property, people's vehicles and all of that. Yeah. They were damaged by NPP tax and all of that.
Well, they are saying that it's a little bit of a propaganda, though. So how do we prove that? How do we prove that in their NPP?
So why would NDC operatives, NDC members damage the property of their leaders? The youth organizer's vehicle was damaged, there were gunshots in there. So why would anybody in NDC do that to him? And Sami Jemfi's vehicle was damaged. And so some of these things, we just have to apply reason to them, common sense, and you see clearly where it is coming from. You know, so we don't need to argue some of these things. But
politicians doesn't make sense.
Politicians will spin it. clearly they wouldn't say that, yeah, we came and did it, you know. So they wouldn't say so. So they have to turn it around a bit and say, oh, yeah, it's their own people and all of that. But it doesn't make sense. We
but
have
it could be, couldn't it?
How? If we are looking for instance, if anybody is looking for Pablo, the NDC youth organizer, they can get him. They can go and get him and do whatever they want to do to him or damage his vehicle and all. It's not during an election like this. And it's
is that
not
why it's called propaganda?
Yeah, well, propaganda from the other side. Yeah,
Okay.
they are the ones that are spinning it to say that it's their own people. Yeah, but I doubt very much if. So it's clear, and it's not only one person's property that was damaged. You know, there were a couple of them.
Okay, you want to say something?
There was also, I don't know if you recall that there was also somebody who was dressed in a military uniform, MPP, one of MPP members, and was accosted by
What shows that he's an MPP member?
Why do you conclude that he's an MPP member?
What shows?
As the investigation came out, have they concluded investigation?
Oh, yeah, well,
have they concluded? You're a lawyer.
It's all about the place when even your leaders were arguing with the police and trying to intercede on the person's behalf and all of that.
The person is an MPP. Let investigation go on. Let it conclude.
Look,
let the facts come out.
It is only you people who are so bold and you are supported by the state apparatus to do such things.
I still disagree with the position you have taken.
What are you?
I mean, looking at your background.
So you think the person is from the NDC fold?
We are trained to sort of.
You think the person is from NDC fold?
Okay, so
he was arrested and he was interrogated.
As of now,
well, you never conclude investigation.
We don't know where the tax belongs to. No, but Eric, Eric and Solomon.
8 people were killed in the 2020 general elections in Techiman South, and until now, investigations have not concluded. You never conclude any investigation if it will go against you. So,
okay, Eric, when you are done, when Solomon is speaking, kindly go silent for me. Solomon, you want to say something?
Earlier, he did mention, in fact, I'm not arguing it out. I think there is some truth in what he's saying, that it could be possible that the smashing or the damages caused to Pablo's car could be from the opposite side.
It's not just Pablo's car, there are other cars, Sammy James' car as well and all.
Have you seen it? I saw that of Pablo. I saw
a picture of Sammy James' own
okay,
as well.
so yeah. It could be that, as he said, I can't rule that possibility out, that it could be from the opposition. But we should also know that within our political parties that we have internal opponents, where even supporters of those opponents try to go to the extreme to do certain things. This cannot be ruled. But before you jump into conclusion, I'm sure investigation will be carried out. And then when it is ended, you know, unless you don't have trust in the police.
I just give you one example since 2020 when we have not had any conclusion.
So I am sure they will carry it, including those people who have imposed, they have made them dressed in this military and their police uniform.
We'll definitely get to that. But do you agree also that, having some of your leadership at the police station saying that some of the people that have been arrested should be released because they are NPP faithfuls?
That went on.
Yeah, there was a video.
You've seen that? Yes. That is, they are NPP people. And that, if they are the NPP people, I'm not here to sort of
because it was your general secretary, your party general secretary, and there was Gabi Ochredakwe and other party faithfuls.
I have not
seen the video.
That's what I'm saying. Let's wait till the investigation is carried out, and then when it is concluded, we will know whether
maybe they arrested wrong people.
It could be. But what I know is an arrest has gone on. Is that not it?
Yes.
But I'm saying I'm calling for us to wait till investigations are concluded for us to know whether it is this or that. But if you say,
there's a video.
There's a video to that. Then that's a different story altogether.
That's a different story altogether. Now, let me continue. In Zulezo, Jomoro communities flooded. It's quite sad because we know that Zulezo is already a water community, and so to hear that it's flooded, it means that the government must step in and do something about it. Our next newspaper will have to be the Business Finder newspaper, and the Business Finder newspaper reads: reverse high interest rates on government's borrowing from a domestic market. Religious tolerance, a harmony record must be maintained, says the president. Dr. Akoto lobbies company to set up tractor manufacturing plants in Ghana. I must say Dr. Akoto is actually doing very well, and his campaign is really strong.
But it's going nowhere.
Really?
No, it's going nowhere.
Why is it going nowhere? But you're not a delegate in the NPP.
No, I don't have to be a delegate. We are all watching the environment. It's going nowhere, clearly. I'll come back here after the primary and come in. And you say, oh, Eric, you said it. Look, we can see we know the front runners. We know
who are the front runners?
Mr. Dr. Baumia is one. Alan Chumante is one.
Okay.
Kennedy Ajapong is one.
Okay.
Perhaps Perhaps those three, and I don't know, they need 5 anyway from their super delegates. Congress, they need 5. So maybe Dr. Goto, he may make the first round and be in the top 5. I doubt that also very much though, but I don't know. But these 3, one of them is going to emerge the winner, the overall winner. And
but who do you think will emerge?
I don't know.
On top of your head?
I don't know, but I have a feeling that these guys are going to punish Bawumia seriously. I believe that the crowd that is following him is not real. I believe that even the government machinery itself that is even following him, I have my doubt. You know, at the end of it all, they may just ditch him. That's my feeling.
That's
my gut feeling. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let's do the Daily Guide newspaper. Sarkodie Yvonne battle over abortion.
We'll live to for you.
We'll live to fight again, and as Assin retains Assin North seat, things will get better, says Akufo-Addo. 6 more Papavi fighters jailed 26 years. Sankofa gold workers in police grips. A bit of entertainment here as well. Court adopt terms of settlement in Chatawale Bulldog case, and Pepsodent. Okay, all right. Let's see. We have Daily Guide. We have business stories in Daily Guide. Cement manufacturers must comply with tax laws, says COCMAG. Take advantage of after to grow businesses. MTN suspends Momo tariff increment, and I mean, MTN users are very excited about that because your hearts were broken at a point in time. Mofa USAID WFP launched $7 million farmer support program. And the back page reads, Mbappe blast pleas for Paris shooting. Georgia Friye supports Bamet, and Jan, so Asamoah Jan storms Parliament, and that will be all for the Daily Guide newspaper. Right, our next conversation is to do with, government telling us not to worry at all, and that IPP issues, we will not go back into doom, so things will be fine. Says it assures the public that IPP won't shut down power supply after June 30th deadline. Are we excited, Eric?
Well, that's a good news. I understand they owe the IPPs about 1.73 billion.
But I think they have a conversation that they will shut us down, right?
Well, yeah, I think they are talking. So the IPPs also claim that they don't have resources anymore to generate power if they are not paid. Or at least, and they want 30% down payment or something like that. And so if they are talking, that's fine. We don't want to go into doom. So if they can do it, fine. I believe government, if they can mobilize resources from various areas to make sure that they avert this. So let's hope that
But if there's no money to support the power supply, and we are being told that we shouldn't worry, isn't it a cause to worry because there's no money?
Well, perhaps they know if they can find money. That's why I'm saying that if they can find it, they are saying that we shouldn't worry. It means they can find it. But if they are just going to wrap them and say, I will pay later and all of that, then there's danger because they are saying they don't have money now to even produce the power. So if government is telling us that we shouldn't worry, perhaps they have their feet on something. And so there's some money hidden somewhere. Some money is coming in now. You know how government can pick from here and use over there and all of that. So we are. That is why they are in government. They are supposed to do things for us, and so we are watching them.
Okay. Solomon?
Hi. Doomsaw is synonymous to an era. Doomsaw belongs to an era. And once the era is no more, I don't think we should even think of going to Doomsaw because that era is no more. It's past and gone.
But you see, you shouldn't be making statements like this.
Era.
No, yeah, but of course, if it's.
But we know when Doomsaw started. So why are you claiming it?
No. Well, Doomsaw, it was intensified during John Mahama's period. So everybody knows, and there were demonstrations and
Eric,
all of that.
you are accepting it because, as far as some Ghanaians are concerned, even as of 2006, 2004, there was Doomsaw. Yes, so why are you claiming it?
No, if he's talking about one era.
He never said...
He doesn't have to.
He said an era. You are accepting it. Why are you accepting it?
I'm not accepting it. I'm rather making... Because when they speak like this, it is not like we don't understand what they are saying.
But Ghanaians, there are Ghanaians out there, discerning Ghanaians.
There's not everybody that is so much discerning. That's why we have to... That's why we are here. That's why you pick people from both parties to be here. And so that if one person makes a statement, I don't have to assume that everybody understands it to the way you understand it. I have to let them understand that what he means is that...
He never mentioned your party.
He doesn't have to, but we all know. We all know. We know what is going on. We know what is in his mind. If he said that,
you can't know what is.
He said that era is no more. Which era? Then let him talk about the era so that we can tackle it. Which era? He can't just throw it in the air like that.
Okay, Eric, please continue.
Which era?
Thank you very much. You see, this is how I was trained. I mean, when you're talking, I will not interject.
You know, that's below the belt.
I expect same from my colleague. He's a senior man. I mean,
continue, Solomon.
We don't have to do this to ourselves. As I said, Dumso is synonymous to an era. Dumso is identifiable to an era. And once that era is past and gone, we are not envisaging to sort of visit Dumso again. So I take it with great joy, just as my senior here mentioned, that if government says, oh, they are in talks with this IPP and that we will not go back to Dumso, it's a welcoming news. We all need to sort of be happy about that news and pray that it comes to be. Is that not it? That's the wish of all Ghanaians.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, fine, there may not be money. As he said, you know how government operates, you can take this year. But even, let's take government out. In my own nuclear family, myself, my wife, and my children, if I have to make some ends meet, I will know how to sort of do things to make certain things meet certain things. I hope you understand me. So that is the minutest level you can look at it. Then you bring it to the larger, the macro, which is the economy that we have. So if government says there wouldn't be due, so I think we should be happy.
We should be happy about it.
And pray that it happens. So
that is what I want to hear. Let's pray that it happens, because we've actually seen, don't worry, and we ought to, and then we end up seeing something else. So we are hoping that, as we have been told, so shall it be. That's all. And we pray. So we are praying that we will not go back into Dumso.
Because man will propose and then what?
Okay. This should not be your campaign message. No.
I'm saying because we are adding the prayer bit.
Okay.
Man will propose. But it is up to God to see to it coming to fruition. Yes. So.
Anyway, there's another story also, so we'll move on to our next conversation. Is to do with what happened in St. Monica School, where a young lady has lost her life. She wasn't feeling well. She wanted an exeat, but the school refused the exeat, and unfortunately, she lost her life. I will say that we stand in prayers with the family, because this is a very, very difficult time, and this story has been trending about, as a parent, it's quite difficult to hear things like this. You just wish you would not hear anything of this sort. But why will a school prevent a child from getting access to good health facilities? And even with our secondary schools, do we have the adequate health facilities and enough doctors or nurses in there to help in situations like this when children fall sick? Eric, let me start with you.
Yeah, that's a very sad story. I think that, like you said, in the past, when we were in school, I believe most of the schools had what we call the infirmaries. I don't know if they still exist, keeping at least one nurse or two and give a small office there for first aid. And perhaps if you have, even if they cannot give first aid or give treatment, they probably will recommend if the person actually needs medical attention, and that may inform the authorities to grant the exeat at the appropriate time. If perhaps they just thought that the person was not sick enough to be given exeat to go out and all of that. If there were health workers in the school, teaching in the school, I believe they would have assessed the situation and realize that this person actually needs that care, and then they would.
I think there are health workers, but it's the quality of health workers that you ask, or even access to.
We don't even know if any is stationed in that particular school, in many of the schools now.
Oh, it's a requirement, isn't it? Every school is supposed to have.
Well, I know many schools don't have that, so I believe
nurse?
that. Yeah,
you don't have school nurse?
No, there are many schools, they don't have it. Now, even the private schools even do. They have it. The public schools, they don't. The schools that are, people, they cannot even find places to sleep, and they don't have good food and all of that. The problems are just too many for anybody to be thinking about infirmary or health facilities in the school.
But I know for sure that it's a requirement. I know for sure that every school is supposed to have an infirmary, supposed to have a school nurse. It is, the question here is, do they have the first aid? Do they have the facilities, good, quality facilities for them. Because for you to detain a sick child, you ought to have the first aid, let's say the paracetamols, the painkillers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Before you say that, okay, I'll allow the child, I'll give the child first aid. If there's no improvement, then I'll allow the child to go to a general hospital or something.
But you know something, the press, you have a responsibility to investigate some of these matters also and bring to our knowledge. You know, what we are discussing now is what is published. So you guys have a lot to do to publish some of this information.
The information has just come out, and we are still getting all the information.
Okay, so we are counting on you to give us.
Yeah,
more.
we'll get to the bottom of it. That's what we are discussing. We ought
and then
to
you go to other
this
schools to find out if the infirmaries actually exist. Yeah.
They are.
Okay.
They are.
Good.
As for that, I can boldly say that there are infirmaries in schools.
In many schools.
In many schools.
Okay.
Many
fine.
schools.
That's
yes.
fine.
Yes.
Let's confirm that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Solomon.
I thank God that you've sort of stated positively that there are infirmaries in our secondary schools. At least within the last 3 years, I've been visiting 2 schools in PTS and then Okwapima, and it's like I see it. And then it's not like a place that you say we are in an era where students need a place to lay their head, and look, they are there before even this free SHS thing came. Infirmaries in secondary schools are there before this free SHS thing came, so you shouldn't use that. Now, let me extend my condolence to the family of the student who's passed by that means. You know, this is one of the occupational hazards for management and staff of schools. In as much as we send our children to the schools for them to take proper care of them, ensure that they stay within bounds. They are also faced with challenges. Sometimes students will come with all sorts of excuses, wanting to go out of bounds. So they need exit. Some are not genuine. The reasons for which they want the exit are not genuine. That is how come some staff or management will sort of hold on a bit to the request. But in some cases, if whatever the person is going through is not so apparent for you to see physical, like, yeah, this.
That is why I asked of the quality of health practitioners we have there. Because as a health practitioner, if a child comes to you or anybody walks up to you and tells you they are sick, you will examine the person. You'll be able to tell the how do I put it, the seriousness of the sickness or how bad the sickness is, and also say that, okay, we permit this child to go out to get good health, access to good health. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we are yet to have, as he said, we are yet to have further and better particulars to it, because the question will be whether the health attendant at the infirmary actually gave the green light for an ASIA to be given. Because they will give the green light, then the person will have to go for the ASIA. And whether the green light was given and the ASIA was denied, or there was no green light, but going for ASIA and it was also denied. So we need further and better particulars in order to know what exactly transpired there. But in all cases, we extend our condolences to the family. I mean, it's a big loss, but we hope they will take solace in the fact that all that God does is done well.
Anyway, so we are hoping that, you know, we get to the bottom of this, but our children are in the hands of the authorities. And we are hoping the authorities will take very good care of our children. It's quite sad to know that your child will go to school and your child will not come back home again, you know, and you ask yourself where you went wrong or what the school authorities could have done better to help save the life of your child. And so we are praying with the family in this difficult time. We'll quickly round up our conversation for today, and I'll say thank you. But gentlemen, before you go, your final words. Let me start with you, Eric.
Well, I want to, final word, I want to advise the people of Assin, especially. I think that I saw a statement that was released by the president to congratulate NDC. The statement didn't mention the name of Honorable Akufo-Addo, though, unfortunately. And then, but the part that worries me is that the statement says that Assin will soon vote the blues, meaning NPP again here. And I want to advise my people of Assin that they have good reasons not to return to NPP because, you know, they elected an MP, somebody who had given up his citizenship, Canadian citizenship, and a year before election came and contested. You elected him to parliament, they hounded him out of parliament, Cabinet handed him out of parliament, And then government also wanted to frustrate this campaign for the by-elections. And they came to you and said that, well, this man is a possible candidate for parliament, don't elect him. For president, so don't elect him. You went ahead and do all of this after electing him. And then now they come back and tell you that, well, you come back, you vote for us again very soon. I want to advise them that they have very good reasons. The party in power did not respect their choice, did not respect their desire. And so I don't see how they will come back to NPP. So I'm advising them that look at all that they've done to you, the wrong they've done to you. You've duly elected an MP and they took the MP from you. You re-elected the MP again, they are threatening. In fact, it's in court now. Today they are going to the Court of Appeal. There's going to be another application in the High Court. So you see, they just don't want you to select somebody that you desire and put the person in Parliament. So don't ever get back to them. Make sure that you stand your ground and make sure that you vote for the person you like and you ask the government, NPP, to respect your choice. And so don't get back to him. That's advice I want to give.
All right, Solomon?
Well, on that score, I will also go to Assin and then tell the good people of Assin that in the first place, we appreciate the decision that they have taken. We congratulate Honorable Jechi, just as our General Secretary sent out a letter the next day after the election. That was yesterday. It came out congratulating Jechi, mentioning his name. So the party has acknowledged that Honorable Jechi has. In fact, on my Facebook wall, I congratulated. I said, yes, you fought a good fight. That was me. Okay. And the party too have done his, mentioning his name. I also mentioned his name.
Right.
The president.
So the people of Assin North should know that yes, the NPP as a political party didn't hunt their MP. No. It was a civil case. It was an individual, one Michael Dimfa and Kuma or something, who took Honorable Jechi to court for purposes that was stated. The pleas were itemized. And by the end of the day, this was the decision of the court, not the decision of the NPP. So this is the erroneous impression that I want to clear in the minds of this. Then I'll add my voice to what my General Secretary said, that what Assin of defeat, wake up call for us. Yes, that is why earlier I was calling on NPP delegates that yes, look, if we want NPP to break the 8, the decision lies
with your delegates?
With the delegates. The numbers are there. Those at the top, those we call the system, they are just a few. Even in some cases, you may not even have most of them being delegates. No, but the delegates are there in the various constituencies. Yes, it's very true, because I like the wake-up call that the General Secretary is calling for. And that wake-up call will have to sink down to delegates. It has to start from there. If we really want to win 2024 elections, or that sort of breaking the 8,
you need to make Alan
delegates have to look at it well, because if you are saying you are going to focus on what the system is, the system said this, and when we went, Charles Opoko didn't get it. I hope you get me right. So they should not always look at the system.
You are blaming your party so much today.
They have to know that they have been given, the Constitution has given them the right to decide on their own. Nobody should tell them or direct them as to where to go.
Okay.
They should listen to where the ordinary plus ones are saying. And you see videos going around, the plus ones. I mean, NPP and this, we are having 6 million plus. We need a plus one. The plus ones are the people outside the NPP who are saying, oh, if you bring
Solomon Asante is a communication team member for the NPP, and he's saying that delegates do vote for somebody that he will support, and he says that he supported Alan, and so he's all for Alan. And also Erica Delano Alifo Esquire, who is a lawyer, part of the legal team and communication team for the NDC.
I'm getting prompts that my name was designated as Derek instead of Eric. Oh. You keep mentioning Eric, but I think what people are seeing on the screen is Derek.
Please pardon us. We're sorry.
So you correct it next time when I come.
It won't happen again.
Yeah,
we are very sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much for being here, gentlemen. Okay.